Hi. Why am I laughing? Because I am stage fright. I am stage fright. Erroneous Maximus III on November 11th, 2021. It's 111121. That's today's date, I think. Why am I like this? Oh my gosh. So, just to get this out of the way, because some people might see this in the back hanging on the door and they're like, what is that? It is a cervical traction device, which is kind of like a chiropractic tool. You like stick your head in it and then you know, you just, I think it like stretches the neck out or whatever. I don't know all the science behind it, but yeah, cervical traction device. You can Google it. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, first order of business, y'all see that little bump right there? I guess it kind of like goes here, because I don't have that on this side. It's just a bump. Kind of looks like a pimple. It might be a ganglion cyst. It's getting on my nerve. Like literally, because I can feel it all the way down my arm and like in my pinkies, and like it kind of comes and goes. And it's like, why do I have to have things like just always something new every day, you know? Because that's how life goes. Especially when you get older. Hello, mid-30s. It's autumn. It is a very dreary day, but you know, I kind of like the way the days look when it's like all cloudy and dreary out and the leaves are like dead or like change colors, because the grayness and the dreariness of the sky really makes the happy dead leaves pop. They just pop out, kind of like my lighting right now. Like I look like I'm glowing and like the darkness behind me is just like accentuating my brightness, and that's how outside looks right now. Like I'm a dead leaf and that's the sky. So I'm just a dead leaf, my chlorophyll's gone, and I'm brightening your day. Oh, don't pop the cyst. You're gonna get in more pain. Okay. Oh, what I wanted to say. So it's that time of year where, oh my gosh. So I can't. Why do I keep buying books? Like Holman, what do you say? You can read it faster than I can. Illustrated Bible Dictionary, and there's another Holman, the biblical jiggy, getting jiggy with it, getting jiggy with itography. Y'all, you know how like single people end up being married to their jobs? Well, as a writer, and I'm writing a biblical thing, I keep buying stuff. Like I literally have like 20 other books that are like very similar to this or like Bible related in like a technical format, because I'm a nerd like that, and I like being very thorough. But anyway, before my ADD rudely intercepted my thought pattern and like threw me down a trail, where was I? It's autumn. I'm sad because it's that time of year where I think I made that sound. Am I recording? Yes. 4 minutes. Oh gosh. Yeah. That whole SAD thing. I mean, I don't know. Is that like an actual diagnosis or something? Because I feel like I kind of have it. Because now that like, well, I know for me personally, I get kind of down these times of years because now I can't really go outside. I mean, I can go outside, but it's like colder and fewer people are outside, and it's just I feel trapped in the house and I get cabin fever, and it's like I feel claustrophobic, and that's one of my anxiety triggers. It's like feeling trapped. So yes. Speaking of anxiety triggers, where are we? You know, I think I've reached to the point where I have to start being honest with myself. I don't know, I'm a weird creature. I'm a very vast dude, versatile, because I think I often brag about like how type A I am, but I used to be type B. I think I mentioned that in the video, but like it's still kind of in there. So I feel like I've grown to hide my sensitiveness because I identify very much with what folks call like an HSP these days, a highly sensitive person. Because when I do all that research and like I be relating to everything, like I don't like loud sounds, I don't like busy environments. I have my laptop open right here so I could just be kind of on track. I like to avoid violence in movies and TV shows. Well, it kind of depends. Like if it's like Marvel violence and it's like it's not crazy, like it's a lot of it. Sometimes it can be a little much. Like, I remember when I first got started, when I watched like my first Marvel movie, it was like, whoa, it's intense. And it was in a movie theater and I felt like very like overwhelmed. And I had not been to a movie theater in a while. And this was, I think the first one of like the big series of like the recent was, the first one I saw was Captain America, the third one. What's it called? But there's a lot. A lot of fighting. Like I can kind of deal with that now. I'm kind of grown accustomed to it, but like when it comes to like gore, I could never do like the slasher films where like blood and guts are like I cannot, like the Saw series, like just hearing about the things and like I can't watch that stuff. Like I can't handle like bodily fluids, vomit, like ew. No, like you, like I really see, like I'm really grateful for like our veterans. Happy Veterans Day, and thank you for your service, by the way. Because I can't do that. I'd be like, no, can I use a Nerf gun? No, but seriously though, thank you to all of you who have sacrificed, or you know what I mean, like took that risk, I'm really bad at complimenting, which is kind of what I'm going to be getting into. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. And healthcare workers who like deal with like the ugliness of humanity. Like, ooh, I cannot. Like if someone like starts coughing near me and it's like a sick cough, I'm like, and that's not even COVID related. I've always been like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, illness. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna die. Because they're gonna die. Why am I so dramatic? Well, that's what I'm trying to... I feel like that's a huge reason why I struggle with anxiety a lot these past couple of years, because I've hidden my sensitivity because I feel like it was a sign of weakness. And just real talk, I've been hurt. Like I've encountered a lot of hurt, like many years ago, several years back, like maybe like probably like 7 years ago and beyond that, kind of like college days. Throughout that time, I encountered a lot of stuff. And as a coping mechanism, I developed a hard shell and I think that kind of bit me in the tuchus, because now I lost that sensitivity. And I look back now and like things I used to post or things I used to write in like my personal journals, I was a completely different person. I was very emotional. I was very like sensitive. I was very loving. And now like I'm not that. I'm very like, where I used to be very phlegmatic, I guess, like very like like artsy and lovey-dovey, and like now I'm more like the exact opposite. I think I'm more choleric, where it's like I'm very like, okay, practical, get all these books, like write things down, let's minimize, declutter, make things like chop, 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 make lists. Like, we don't have time for emotions, no time to be sensitive. Like, we have jobs to do. Like, and that kind of mentality like ate up like who I used to be, like that child. Like, I kind of miss that side of me because I'm not like that anymore. Like, I used to pray with people a lot more back in the day. Like, I used to reach out and encourage people, like, personally, like, well, usually through a message, because face to face was just I was really like scared of that, and like I still kind of am. But like now is like I don't even do that, and it's not that I don't care. It's just that I've hidden that side of me for so long that like I don't know how to do it anymore. So yeah, being an HSP, deeply moved by beauty. So like by art, nature, human stuff. You know what? I was watching like this YouTuber today. I haven't watched her videos in like a long time, but well, I'll just share. What's her name? Colleen. What's her married name? Um, she plays Miranda Sings with like a girl with like the big red lips and like pretends like she's a good singer and everything. So I've followed her for many years, kind of off and on, and well, just this morning she posted a video, or last night, whenever it was, like she gave birth to a set of twins, a little bit of a month early, and I don't know, just like watching that whole thing, like I was like crying the whole way through because it was just such a beautiful experience. And you know, listening to her talk about it later with like all the complications, because she had to have an emergency C-section. I'm like, oh my gosh, and she's crying and I'm crying and like the president's crying and I'm like, I just woke up and like I'm reaching for the tissues and like I'm in pain because this ganglion cyst allegedly, and I have to squeeze a tissue to squeeze my nose and like catch my emotions in a sheet. Like that stuff like moves me, and I don't really show that side of me anymore like publicly, and I think that's why, because I'm afraid of being hurt again like I was many years ago. So I think that's something I really have to address with myself, and I'm kind of just speaking out loud right now for like an audience so I can be criticized later. Criticism, that's a big thing. As a highly sensitive person, I can't do criticism. Well, it kind of depends on the situation and the person. Like if it's a constructive criticism by somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, like I can handle that because I know like who they are, or like if there's some type of professional, like I long for that criticism because it helps me as a person. But if it's somebody who's like some average Joe, some dude that's just, you know, they're just like, and I'm like, hurt my feelings on the inside, but on the outside I'm like, okay, and then I'm like panicking because I'm uber sensitive and I feel like crying, and then I usually end up crying later behind a closed door, but we don't let them know that. But surprise, I'm very sentimental, and I don't know how to show it. No, I once knew how to show it, but I've forgotten because I got hurt. Because I used to be that type who wore his emotions on his sleeve. And then people are like, what's that, emotion? Give me that. And here we are. So yeah, that's something I've just been realizing lately. So that's something I have to address with Jesus. And it's really hard for me to open up to folks because, well, first of all, I'm very weird. I deal with different things. So, you know, like when it comes to making friends, you have the type of friends when like as soon as you meet each other, like it's just like you click, you just like the instant. Sometimes you don't even have to speak yet. It's just like your spirits meet and you just coalesce, like your BFFs, like instantaneously, and because you're kindred spirits, you think the same way. Yeah, can't really relate, but there's the other type of friends where the type of friendships that you have to work at, and it's possible that you have to work at it. You actually have to put like consistent, like intentional effort into, and you build a deeper friendship over time. And that is probably 99.9% of my social circle, my relationships. And I know a lot of people. It's weird because like I'm introverted, but I'm not the type of person who has to meet everyone. I like to know a little bit about everyone and I see. So I'm kind of extroverted on like a surface level, but then introverted like once you get to like the deep stuff. But anyway, yeah, 99.9% of my relationships are kind of like that you have to work at. Now, as someone with anxiety and depression issues and fatigue, that kind of feeds into a fatigue. Like I never have the energy to do that, to like invest. Like every once in a while, like I'll have like energy spurts, and then I'll be like, oh, let's get to know these people and kind of like help, like actually put some energy into the relationship. But then, I care about them and I know they care about me, but I get tired and I just kind of like drop off. I'm like, whatever, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm tired. So I always be looking for like them folks, them BFFs, like the instant BFFs, where the moment you meet, it's just like, where have you been all my life? Where have you been? And yeah, that 0.1%, like I have a handful of people. I've probably maybe like 5 people like that I've met in my lifetime, in my 34 plus years of living. Whereas like you just, boom. Well, even then, like I'm still weird and like they're like major things that we just don't get. But with those I have in my life, the they typically live far away or they live busy lives or both, and our schedules never meet up. Or well, at my age, the mid-30s age, most people are married. And I tend to get along with girls a lot better than I do with guys. So it's just kind of weird to be like, hey, can I hang out with your wife? Like if I don't really click with the husband as much. I don't know, it's a very strange dynamic. It's a very unfortunate dynamic because I get very lonely and I'm very sensitive, so I'm like, I'm lonely. And so dealing with that, it's hard to function. Like even with my work, like I tend to work very slowly when it comes to my writing, because like there are days I wake up and like, I have all these ideas, but I just don't have the energy to like put all of it forth and like put myself into it, because I feel lonely, I feel tired and depressed because I'm lonely. And yes, that's it. Y'all have a happy Veterans Day. So I got some stuff to address. So now that that's out there, oof. I don't think a lot of people realize like how much anxiety I hidden over the years, like behind a smiley face, behind this happy-go-lucky, like forced energy. I mean, sometimes it's forced and sometimes it's not. Like right now, I feel kind of okay because I'm by myself. But I'm almost at 20 minutes. Yeah, because I think a lot of the anxiety and fear translates as the lack of care. So I think a lot of people think I don't really care about them. Like at least not enough to like make the efforts to get to know them, but I promise I do, I really do, but I get scared. I get so terrified and I don't know what to do. And like I love people a lot more than I think they realize, and I need to open my mouth. Love you guys. Really?